So yesterday I stopped by my local processing lab and I picked up some rolls of 120 film to take them home, archive them, and I got to thinking 3 rolls of medium format film. It's about 45 shots on my 645, and I paid how much for each roll and it costs how much to develop each roll. I only found that 36 of them were on par, which is really good to be fair, but still it's quite expensive. So that got me thinking, what is the cheapest film stock that Essential Photo Supply has? And I ended up coming out with this Kentmere Pan 100. It's a panchromatic film and it cost me $6.36 for a roll of 36 shots, 36 exposures. And if I'm lucky, I could get 37 on this camera. That's the purpose of this video, is to see how good is Essential Photo Supply's cheapest film stock. This is a black and white film, so bear that in mind. There are cheap color films too, but not as cheap as black and white. So let's go shoot and see what we get. You can leave this in.
This is Kyler taking a photo, probably of that blue truck. I really hope he doesn't get hit by a car doing this. I'm a little worried. But it's a neighborhood, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, you can cut it now.
Oh, I can cut it now? Is he sure? Is he sure I can cut it? I want to get him back there, but... Oh, there's a car. Honey, there's a car. Oh, he's good.
So there's a really sick Corvette Stingray out here, but I'm concerned about worrying about the phone, worrying about the people watching me take pictures of their car. So I'm gonna leave the phone in my pocket. Alright, so this canyon was kind of a bust. I was hoping for some greens like this, some lower vegetation that kind of makes it a more deep, vibrant green, but instead we ended up with a lot of this, which is like a purplish brown that kind of just looks like rust. Not the kind of colors I was hoping for. I don't even have a lot of this sagebrush up here quite yet. Nice little convenient spot to unload my film. There is Kentmere Pan 100. So now it's time that I tell you my thoughts on the film and whether I plan to shoot it again in the future. Is this film worth its cost in dollar bills? Mainly, I'm going to be comparing this film to something of a mid-range, which I would consider to be Ilford's HP5 lineup, and then I'll be comparing it to the Kodak Tri-X and the Fujifilm Acros 100 II. The Kentmere 100 has the grain structure of a chicken pen. The grain isn't very pleasing in my opinion. It looks pre-tattered. Basically, I'm not a huge fan of how the film looks, and that's partially due to its nature of being so cheap. Is they used a decreased amount of material in this film, which in turn gives it lower resolution as compared to something like a very fine textured resolution of the Fujifilm Acros 100 II. You can barely perceive that it's film. It looks digital in its sharpness. Strictly speaking, the resolution looks very, very sharp, but soft at the same time. And then you have film like HP5 and Tri-X that have a grain structure to them, but it's kind of a more pleasing, it actually is a structure. At this price range, you can't expect high resolution because it just isn't gonna work that way. But if you are just trying to capture memories, maybe on a trip where less important things are happening, but you still want to shoot film because it just kind of looks cool. Kind of like the shots I got of that abandoned building, it just wouldn't translate over to something that's sharper. It just kind of looks more rustic. It looks the part. So for things like that, I could see myself experimenting more with this film and then maybe going back with a film that's extremely sharp and, you know, capturing all the detail that I want. To summarize then, this film is not your cousin's quinceañera film. This is the kind of film you take out with your friends on a weekend trip. Maybe someone's gonna throw a backflip off of the boat dock and you wanna capture it on film. Or what if your dog's just kind of looking at you funny and he really wants you to pick him up and hold him? You could take a picture of that guy on film with this film stock and not feel guilty about having wasted a shot on your dog just kind of looking at you like he wants to eat your leftovers. You're dead right. Will I be shooting this film again? Probably not. I personally think I would rather go for something like an Ilford HP5 that's only $4 more. And if I needed to get higher quality images, I would probably put down the money for some Fujifilm Acros 100 II. What a mouthful. Unfortunately, they're kind of halting production on all their film. And something that I'm leaning towards today is film isn't where you're going to make price cuts in your work. You'd be more likely to make a bigger difference in price by scanning your own negatives or processing your own film. That's something that I'm interested in, and I just need to find a way to do both of those that I can do in my tiny house. So thank you for watching this episode. Even though it was in black and white, I hope that artistic nature didn't draw people away from the video. I hope people could see past that and not just be enthralled by goo goo gaga colors. Stay tuned for my next video. I'll be inviting two of my friends who haven't shot film very much in their lives to borrow a couple of my cameras and shoot a roll of film out around the town. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.